welcome to 2 Minutes and Beyond, the podcast where we review the Toy Story movies 2 minutes at a time. I'm Bianca Garcia, and this is Macy Ball.
Hello.
Hi. In this episode, we're talking about minutes 53 and 54 of Toy Story.
This is a really good scene. I mean, we say that every single episode because it's true, but this is a really good scene.
I'm like, y'all can't take anything we say seriously because we say that all the scenes are good and we have nothing bad to say. Well, we do. We have some bad things to say, but even then, we're very forgiving.
We complain isn't the right word, but we point out the animation cheats.
Yeah,
and logical inconsistencies.
Well, should we get started?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go. These 2 minutes start off with Woody telling Slinky to tie the Christmas lights onto something. Mr. Potato Head says, wait, I've got a better idea. How about we don't? And grabs the Christmas lights from Slinky. Slinky says, hey, and Bo says, Potato Head. He responds, did you all take stupid pills this morning? Have you forgotten what he did to Buzz and now you want to let him back over here? Woody explains, no, you got it all wrong, Potato Head. Buzz is fine. Buzz is right here. He's with me. Potato Head yells, you're a liar. Woody says, no, I'm not. Buzz, come over and tell the nice toys that you're not dead. Buzz rips the sticker off of his wrist communicator and crumbles it up. Woody gives a fake smile to the other toys and says, just a sec. He goes to the edge of Sid's desk and asks, Buzz, will you get up here and give me a hand? Buzz throws his arm onto the desk and Woody chuckles and says, that's very funny, Buzz. This is serious. He starts to panic when he hears Rex says, Woody, where are you? Or where'd you go? And Potato Head says, he's lying. Buzz ain't there.
The dialogue is so good in this scene, and there's such a rhythm to it, too. It's like, I mean, I probably have this whole movie almost memorized, but this scene in particular is one that just because of it's just so quick. All of these lines just stuck with me, which is especially impressive considering that apparently Tom Hanks improvised a bunch of his lines, like with the coming up here with Buzz's arm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I think that's funny, though, when Buzz throws his arm up when he says, can you give me a hand?
Yes. It's like he's too depressed to actually help, but here you go. Here's my arm.
I wonder if he actually, meant it to be, a witty joke like that, or if he was just like, nah, whatever, and he threw his arm up.
Probably both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. He, quick split-second thought of it and was like, you know what, just, there's my hand. I'm giving you a hand.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I understand why Buzz is so upset and, doesn't want to do anything. But at the same time, I'm like, come on. If all you have to do is just stand up.
Yeah.
And be like, here I am.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I'll give him a pass since he's depressed.
I know. I always think about it. When I was little, I was like, Buzz, don't be a jerk. Just go. You can get to the house really quick. And then, now that I think about it, now with actual depression, I'm like, oh, I get it. Poor Buzz.
Yeah. Woody's gesturing throughout this whole scene. His arms just go everywhere, especially when he says, no.
Yeah, he's very animated, and I love that about this scene, that he's just the floppiest.
Yeah, his arms are just he's talking with his hands a lot.
Yeah. Which, I mean, in that situation, I guess he would be, just so the toys could see him and see hey, he's
That's
okay.
That's true. Because he's all the way, in the other house on the other side. Buzz pulling his wrist communicator sticker off has bothered me ever since I was a child. What did Andy think when he noticed that the sticker was gone?
Yeah,
Buzz has been missing for a few days, and now he finds him again, and the sticker's gone.
Yeah, I never thought like Andy would notice that later, but yeah, he probably did. Like, where did the sticker go? And then maybe he thought like maybe Molly took it off, like if she ever got near Buzz, and then he blamed her and she's all innocent.
I don't know. But also just as someone who, even as a kid, for the most part, liked to keep my toys in good shape as much as possible, and, now as someone who collects toys, I'm like, "No, don't take that off."
Yeah, I know that is a very I guess not really anxiety inducing, but that just like kind of got under my skin too as I got older. When I was little, I did like to put, I was the kid that put the stickers on as neatly as possible because I'd see
Mhm.
like my cousin's toys or like my friends' toys and the stickers all diagonal when it's supposed to be straight, and I would always get mad. So like seeing that, and then when he does take it off, I'm just like, after all that hard work that somebody put it on there straight.
Somebody at the factory, he just he just crumples it up and throws it away.
I think it would have
It
been really funny if when he crumbled it up, it actually just stayed stuck on his hand because it's a sticker. He crumbled
Yeah.
it up the wrong way.
Yeah. It is kind of impressive, though, when you think about the fact that through all the years, all the other stickers on his body never came off. I mean, if you look closely, you can see, like, some wear on them, but
Right, but
they
they
don't, like,
never
get
actually
ripped
peeled
or
off or anything.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. I do like that. Like I never really thought about that because for toys that are heavily used, their stickers do wear off or they fade. Like if you're touching them a lot, they start to fade. So
Yeah, I mean, if you do look closely in, like, Toy Story 3 and 4, you can kinda you can you can see that they're, like, um, a little bit faded, like, a little bit they're not in perfect condition anymore. But I
mhm.
guess Andy takes care of his toys.
Yeah. Well, good for Andy. I'm glad that he was one of those kids and not like the kids that like Sid just
Mhm.
blow up their toys. Should we move on?
Yes.
Okay. At the 41-second mark, Woody reappears at the window and in an exaggerated voice pretends to talk to Buzz like he's standing just to the side of the window. Oh, hi, Buzz. Why don't you say hello to the guys over there? He waves Buzz's arm from out of the side of the window, and an impression of Buzz says, Hey, fellas, to infinity and beyond. Rex exclaims, Hey, look, it's Buzz. Woody says, Hey, Buzz, let's show the guys our new secret best friend's handshake. Give me five, man. He shakes Buzz's hand and gives him a high five. Ham says, Something screwy here. Woody says, So you see, we're friends now, guys, aren't we, Buzz? And in his Buzz impression says, You bet, give me a hug. He makes it look like Buzz's arm is hugging him and says, I love you too. Slinky says to Potato Head, See, it is Buzz. Now give back the lights, Potato Head. Potato Head says, Wait just a minute. What are you trying to pull? Woody accidentally brings Buzz's arm out into full view and says nothing. I love
Oh
all the hard
gosh.
work that he did, and then he does that.
He undoes it in 1 second.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love the fact that he's trying so hard and like nobody, I mean, they do realize, but
Ham and Potato
initially,
Head definitely realize.
yeah, like initially, like why would he just be right at the corner of the window? Like that
Yeah.
doesn't make any
Why would
sense.
he be standing right why would why would Buzz only show his arm?
Exactly.
Which Potato Head says, "Did you all take stupid pills this morning?" I feel like they did. If they buy into, like, Woody's terrible, basically ventriloquist act,
Yeah.
using just Buzz's arm.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But then at the same time, I mean, you got to give him props because he's trying his best with the arm that Buzz gave him.
I feel like he almost would have been better off, though, if he had just been honest and been like, "Hey, I can't Buzz is here, If he had, like, tried to explain, like, "Buzz is here, but, he's depressed and he won't help me."
Yeah, that would have honestly been the best thing. He should have just said, like, he's
And
on
just
the
been like,
floor.
"Hey, what his arm broke off, here's the, I don't know if it would have helped, but just, like, show that here's his arm came off, so, like, here's his arm as some proof that he's here with me."
Right, and
But then
not
they probably
just
still could have been like, "Well, you killed him and took his arm."
I feel like they probably see him as, like, Dexter Morgan or something. They're like, "You awful person."
I was wondering if, 'cause I think Rex and Slinky fully buy into Woody's terrible ventriloquist act, but, it's kinda hard to tell what Bo is thinking in that moment. She doesn't really react a whole lot, cause like, Ham and Potato Head are, like, obviously skeptical, and then Slinky's just there, like, he's got this huge smile on his face, his tail is wagging, and Rex is like, "Hey, it's Buzz," but Bo doesn't really react in any way.
Yeah, I feel like maybe she's just, like, trying to assess the situation. I feel like
Yeah.
she's the one that's more like, "Okay, what's going on?" Because she wants to believe him, but at the same time, she's like, "It's just an arm." So
I would hope she's smart enough to not buy into
Right.
that. I think she is.
I also think it's funny that all of this is happening in between the windows and nobody's
Mhm.
listening, like, nobody hears them, and if they do, they probably just think it's their neighbors on the next door over or something.
Nobody sees them either, like, nobody's out in their yard on the other side of the street or
I know, I'm
anything.
like, is nobody questioning the Christmas lights going between the rooms?
Sid's family there's nobody from Sid or Andy's family is, like, in the backyard or something,
Exactly.
or in the side of the house.
I wonder if this town is just so used to weird phenomenon going on. Like, maybe it's like Gravity Falls where all the weird things happen in the city and
Yeah.
nobody really cares.
Um, I was wondering what happened when, somebody found the Christmas lights just laying on the ground. Like Sid's
Exactly.
dad or somebody is just like, "How did these get here?"
They probably figured Sid is crazy enough to do something with these, so they're like, "Oh well, just hide them again from him."
Yeah, and there's so much junk in Sid's backyard anyway.
Yeah, they probably are just like, "The backyard is his free reign, like, don't even worry about all the trash that's out there."
Yeah. Slinky is so cute. I just talked about him a second ago, but when Woody brings Buzz's arm out, he's so excited.
He gets very excited. I love Slinky. He is like the stereotypical dog. He's like man's best friend. He gets excited whenever he sees his person.
So, if you notice, someone, I think it was in the Toy Story collectors Facebook group that I'm in a while back,
Mhm.
um, somebody mentioned for most of the scene, Buzz's broken arm is the left arm, right? Because that's the no, wait. Yeah, it's the left arm because that's
Mhm.
the arm that breaks off. But then in the shot when he accidentally pulls it out and says nothing, it's a right arm, but it
Oh,
still has, like, the correct stuff that his left arm is supposed to have on it.
it's just the hand that's the right hand.
Well, and the elbow joint
Oh.
is a right arm.
Hmm.
And I I feel like it's because the shot of Woody right before that, that was when he was, like, pretending to have Buzz's arm hug him, and then when it gets to the shot where it switches to his right arm, it's still the right arm hugging him, but it's hugging him in the front so that he can then pull it out
Okay.
and it looks more natural. He can pull it out with his right arm.
Instead of
I
it
don't know if
being...
I'm making any sense, but
Right, no, I get what you're talking about, because it would look kind of weird the other way around, but
yeah.
that is still kind of weird that they decided to do that. I mean, I guess... I don't know. That's another question we gotta send to...
The list of questions just gets longer and longer every week.
It's gonna be a 20-page document. We're gonna have to send it in one of those manila folders.
So, we talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but according to the audio commentary, they discovered that Tom Hanks was actually really good, like, when working with props.
Hmm.
So, John Lasseter brought in a fake severed arm that his teenage son had, and Tom, like, ad-libbed the entire scene with it. And he had, like, Woody reading Buzz's palm, Buzz giving Woody, like, a back rub, and all kinds of stuff like that, and it was because of this scene that they realized that he was really good when working with props, so they, started bringing in more things like that into the recording session to
That
help
is too funny. I mean, that does
boost his
make sense, though.
performance. Yeah.
That makes sense, because a lot of the times, like, when people have a prop, it's easier to, like, channel the character when you're actually acting it out.
Yeah, especially when what he's doing in this scene is so physical too, moving
Yeah.
Buzz's arm around and doing, like, the high five and
Hmm.
all that stuff. Speaking of which, I hope that when they actually did become friends at this, that they have this, a secret best friends handshake.
You know, I hope so, too. That would be really cute. I feel like maybe they do. Or because Buzz is there hearing everything that Woody's saying. He's not, like, off somewhere. He's sitting right underneath the desk, and he's probably like, this dumb guy over here.
It makes me kinda sad though, because this other than this fake hug in this scene, the only other time we ever see them hug in the entire franchise is at the end of Toy Story 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The only other time there's any other, like, physical contact is, like, in Toy Story 3, where they're all holding hands
Mhm.
and they're all
Unless you
about to
count all
die.
the times that, like, Buzz or Woody kinda, like, rests his arm on Buzz.
Leans on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is something I used to do a lot to my siblings when they were shorter than me.
Oh gosh,
Now we're
that's
all, like, the
funny.
same height, so it doesn't work as well.
Oh my gosh. No, my sister would always, because I'm the shortest one, my sister's about your height, about 5'9", and I'm 5'3", so she would come and just put her head on top of mine. And I'm just like, rude.
I can almost see Woody doing something like that to Buzz just to mess with him.
Yeah. Just to kind of, like, chill on him, like, hey, how's it going? Or Jessie doing that to him,
Mhm.
because she's just as tall.
Yeah, almost.
Should we move on?
Sure.
Okay. So at the 1 minute 16-second mark, Bo screams and the other toys make shocked and disgusted noises. Rex pukes and Ham says, "Oh, that's disgusting." Potato Head yells, "Murderer! You murdering dog!" And Woody tries to tell him, "No, no, 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 it's not what you think, I swear." Potato Head says, "Save it for the jury. I hope Sid pulls your voice box out, you creep." He drops the Christmas lights and Woody frantically yells, "No! No, don't leave me here." Woody starts crying. "You gotta help us, please. You don't know what it's like over here." Potato Head says, "Come on, let's get out of here." And Ham says, "Go back to your lives, citizens. Show's over." And all of them except Slinky leave. Woody cries, "Slink! Slink, please listen to me." But Slinky sadly pulls the blinds down and walks away. Woody continues crying, "Slinky," as storm clouds start to thunder overhead.
Woody says no a lot
He
in this
does, which I
section.
understand, because when you're trying to get everybody to listen to you, you're like, "No, no, no, wait."
No, 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 no.
He does. And I'm like, oh my gosh. In a frantic panic, I probably would be doing the same thing too.
Yeah, I'd be curious to I should count how many no's he says in this scene, but it's a lot, so I won't take
It's
the
quite a
time to do
bit.
that.
Also, what is Rex puke? I know that's gross, but he's a
I was
toy
gonna
and
ask that too. Apparently, we know he's got lungs from our previous episode, and he's got a stomach apparently.
and he eats apparently. Which honestly, with that one commercial where Buzz and Woody are eating
Popcorn.
popcorn, I would assume that they do have stomachs, but at the same time, where does
I
that
don't count.
go?
I don't count that commercial as canon because that growth that I just don't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I was kind of offended with that commercial.
But it does remind me of in Toy Story of Terror. I almost said Toy Story that time, forgot because I get those two titles mixed up a lot.
Hmm.
But there's the Pez cat
Oh
that
yeah.
pukes up a Pez candy. Like the little head lifts up and the candy pops out.
Yeah. I want to know, like, is it just plastic that he vomits up? Like, what?
Maybe he's just dry heaving.
Maybe. Yeah, because I've never seen any of them eat at all.
I don't want to think about that too much. It's not pleasant.
It's not. It really is not. I also like the way Slinky looks at Woody before he leaves. He just looks
I
so
know.
disappointed.
And that's it's kind of like the turning point because,
Yeah.
Slinky and Bo and I guess Rex were like really the only friends that Buzz or that Woody had left. So now literally all he has is Buzz.
Right. Yeah. I feel like they finally felt like they had a little bit of hope left, but now that they saw that, they're like, okay, no hope whatsoever. And
Mhm.
they just, like you said, it was a turning point. They're like, okay, that's it. We're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
That's really depressing. And then the clouds that come rolling in, that does make it sad, like even more sad. It just adds to the feeling.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, at that point, I mean, what are they supposed to think? Like they see him there with his arm trying to pretend like doing this weird ventriloquist act, trying to pretend like Buzz is with him. I don't
Right.
know. Again, I want to know what Bo is thinking too, because I'm like I
I
don't know
know.
what
Like,
I
is
would
she
be thinking
looking
in that moment.
for, I want to
Is she
know,
still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt at this point? I mean, she leaves, but they all leave.
is she looking for a new moving buddy?
Neither she or any of the others try to look for like any other possible explanation for what's happening. They don't
Right.
really,
Like they
or
just
they,
lost hope.
yeah, they just kind of leave him instead of even like making any effort to try to get it to try to help him get back. Now that they know that he's over just right over there at Sid's house.
Right. I think also because it's moving day the next day. So they're kind of like, oh well, and they just kind of leave them.
Hmm.
But I don't feel like, I don't know, maybe like the toys don't feel like they're qualified to save them, because usually the toys that are doing the saving is either Buzz or Woody. Like they're the ones that come up with the plans and stuff.
Hmm. I don't know.
I don't know. It's a sad scene. So,
I mean,
moving on.
can you imagine though if your boyfriend just
You find out your
had
boyfriend's a
somebody's
murderer.
severed arm?
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I would be like, I'm calling the cops right now, or if I'd be like, where's the rest of the body? Let's hide it.
Well, then the other thing too is that they know that like for toys. Like, toys can break without, dying.
Right, exactly. Like in Toy Story 2, Woody's arm falls off.
Or just, this movie, Buzz loses his arm, he's still alive.
There you go. I know. There's headless dolls too, and they're alive. They're drinking tea.
And I feel like it's almost like Mr. Potato Head and in Ham as well, kind of like jumped to this conclusion really quickly that Woody was this murderer, um, and then when he tries to like when he just has Buzz's arm and he tries to hide the fact that it's just Buzz's arm, then that makes him like actually look guilty.
Mm-hmm. It makes them look worse than what
Mm-hmm.
they're already thinking. So they don't even want to
Even
try to,
even the ones who believed in him before.
Right. It just kind of like, sets it in stone in their minds. They're like, okay, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Is Ham saying "go back to your lives, citizens" a reference to something? Because it kind of sounds like it could be, but when I googled it, it just brought up this movie.
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe just like the way, I don't know, maybe police officers would say to like onlooking citizens, like, okay, citizens, just get back to your lives. But I don't think
Or
it was
even like
any
a
movie.
superhero or something. It sounds like,
Right.
I don't know.
But I don't think it's in reference to anything specific.
It almost feels like unintentional foreshadowing to Toy Story 4 when Potato Head says, "I hope Sid rips your voice box out, you creep."
Oh, yeah, I know. When I watched the clip, I felt that too. I was like, oh, but he does get it ripped out, just not now.
Yeah. In the audio commentary, they talked about how the clouds in this scene are actually a painting that they made it move using like a morphing technique,
Oh,
which is pretty cool.
that is interesting. Um,
Yeah.
I know there's that type of painting. I don't think it's this though. Um, where they do I think it's on glass where they paint on glass and then they slowly move it and take pictures of it. So it's kind of like animating the
Mhm.
painting. That's what that reminded me of.
Yeah.
So moving on to the last 5 seconds, at 1 minute 55 seconds, Woody hears the sound of the mutant toys moving and looks over to see them surrounding Buzz on the floor. He starts to yell, "Bah!" and it stops there. I like how it stops right there. It
But
sounds like those perfectly cut Scream videos.
mhm. Yeah.
It always makes me laugh.
And Buzz's like panicked look on his face as all the mutant toys are gathering around him. I mean, it's like I feel bad for him, but it's also kind of funny. He's just like,
I know, he just looks so like, oh my god, like he got snapped back to reality.
yeah, like he's been in this like depressive state, but now, like you said, he's just being snapped back into like, oh,
Oh, that's
these
right, we're
toys
in
are
a
going
danger
after me.
area.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. That's kind of like, I don't know, I guess like if you're out in a field and you're like, I'm sad, and then you see like, I don't know, a bear coming after you, and you're just like, oh no.
hmm. I mean, I would be scared too if all these toys who I thought were gonna eat me, all of a sudden just like surrounded me. But
Yeah, I know. That
I'm
would
like,
be
he could
scary.
still get up though. Like he could push himself up with his other arm. I don't know why he doesn't try to get away.
Right? I know. I don't see why he was as I guess because he was just sitting there depressed, but he could have just jumped up and taken down the smallest one of the toys and ran.
He could have. He probably could have taken Ducky
He probably could
and
have.
the frog.
I think the frog maybe would have been a little bit easier, but I don't know.
Yeah. You probably could have taken him with just one arm.
I don't know. He probably feels like he's self-doubting now, so he probably didn't even want to try to fight. Because of that, he's probably like, well, am I even strong enough to take on a mutant toy?
Yeah, and, well, in a second, I mean, I feel like it probably doesn't take him long to realize that, they're actually trying to help him by putting his arm back on.
Right. Once he realizes, like, they're not, like, ripping me apart or anything, he's like,
They're
okay.
actually putting it back in. Which, this it reminds me of this question I've had for a while. So, what do you Buzz think the mutant toys are cannibals and that they're gonna eat them? And I'm like, what do they mean by that? We might have had this conversation outside the podcast before.
Yeah,
But,
because
like,
they don't eat. Why do you think they're going to eat you? Just because you had popcorn that one time doesn't mean they're going to eat you.
and I mean, I feel like even if they do eat, I don't know how they would eat other toys. I don't know.
That's so, I guess because it's just like a,
Half of them don't even have mouths.
I know. I feel like it's just more of a fear of like being ripped apart. And like if they've ever watched like any type of horror movies with Andy, that's probably where they got it from. Like in Toy Story 3 where they're doing that little montage
Mhm.
and they're watching like I guess like a scary movie with him. Or was that
Yeah.
in Toy Story 4? I
That
don't
was Toy
remember.
Story 3.
It was 3,
It didn't
right?
seem like I don't know.
It was at the
You
end
couldn't
like
really
when
tell what was on the screen.
right. I don't know.
They did watch that old looking horror movie
In Toy Story of
in Toy
Terror.
Story of Terror.
That's pretty
Ooh,
great.
Betsy.
That makes me laugh every single time because that is the way like 1930s horror movies are. They're really cheesy. But at the time they were, really scary.
I feel like they're just afraid of them because they they don't really have a way to communicate. They're just like these amalgamation of different parts of toys.
Right, yeah.
They're I don't know. It's kind of sad, really, if you think about it.
Hell, I'd be scared too.
Mhm.
I don't think I'd be able to survive. If I was a toy, I'd probably be something kind of dumb to where like I wasn't like a doll or anything, but maybe like a speak and spell. I don't know. I'd be something kind of weird like that.
I feel like there's some kind of lesson to be learned about the mutant toys and not judging things or people by their appearances.
Right. Like kind of a side moral of the story, like just because someone doesn't look the same as you doesn't mean like they're scary or that they're, going to hurt you or anything or that they're inherently bad. It's just the way we think as people is like the first thing we're like, "Oh, I'm in danger."
Yeah, and it's not like they really if you think about it, they didn't really do anything, um, well, other than I guess they, like, came and collected the other parts of the Janie doll and the pterodactyl, but
Right.
other than that, they just kinda been, like, walking around not doing much.
I mean, if I was torn apart and put on something else, I wouldn't really want to walk around much either. I'd be like, I'm a freak of nature now.
Yeah, and I guess the fact that they can't talk either maybe can make them seem a little more scary.
Yeah, it's more of like a like we don't know how to approach you or something like that.
Mhm.
I feel bad for the toys in Sid's house. Even like Hannah's toys, they don't say anything. Well, they're headless; they can't say anything.
Hannah's
But
toys, yeah.
I feel like all of those toys took a vow of silence for like all the atrocities that they've been through.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we did talk about this with Jonathan and Jesse a little bit, but it's just like there's I don't know why I don't know why any of these toys except the ones that don't have mouths wouldn't be able to talk, but
Right, yeah. That's
yeah.
probably what it is. They just didn't want to, you know. Well, ultimately, what it really is that they probably did not have a good enough script for them, and they didn't want to hire more actors to play parts. So they're like, let's just make them all mute. They're all taking a vow of silence.
I guess.
Because if they did talk, like, how would that have changed Toy Story? How would that have affected like the plot and everything, you know? Like, because
Well,
if they
because
would have been able to talk, they would have been like, hey, we're not going to eat you. And they're like, oh, okay, they're fine.
we're actually good guys. We're just fixing these toys.
Yeah.
That would have it would have taken away a lot of the conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have anything else to say about this clip.
Yeah, I really don't have anything else to say either. So let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Sounds good to me.
Alrighty, well, thanks for listening, everyone. Be sure to follow our Facebook and Twitter accounts and send us an email if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns. And if you enjoy the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.